Campus is back in session today after another Thanksgiving holiday, but unlike some years, one group of Red Raiders gave the university community something extra to be thankful for, following a historical matchup at the Jones. MCTV's Joshua Ermis has all the details on Tech versus OU in sports.
A tradition over 20 years running continued here on campus over the weekend, gifting hundreds of Red Raiders with a symbol that connects them with Red Raiders past, present, and future. We'll have the details on the fall edition of the official ring ceremony.
And history is on the horizon as the university prepares to kick off the centennial celebration. Find out how several additions to the campus landscape are just the first part of a year's worth of planned festivities.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Rhode Duenas.
And I'm Elene Khajishvili. Last Thursday, members of the Texas Tech community spent time with loved ones as they celebrated Thanksgiving.
But on Saturday, Tech fans hope to continue to give thanks as they awaited the outcome of the season finale of Red Raider football. MCTV's Joshua Ermis joins us now with details on the showdown at the Jones. Joshua?
Thanks, Rhody and Elena. The Texas Tech football team welcomed the Oklahoma Sooners to Lubbock for what might have been the last game ever between the two teams here on campus. Oklahoma is expected to leave for the SEC after next year, and the Red Raiders hoped to send the Sooners packing before closing out the regular season. Tech gave up 17 points to the Sooners before Tyler Shugg and the Red Raider offense found their stride and came within 1 point of OU before halftime. Both teams went back to work in the third quarter, and from there, the Red Raiders and Sooners put on one of the most exciting games of the year. Senior place kicker Trey Wolf became the star late in the game, kicking a 43-yard field goal in regulation to send it to overtime, and then hitting a 35-yarder to secure the game. Tech topped OU 51-48 for their first win against the Sooners since 2011. Saturday's victory marked much more than just a win against Oklahoma. It also gives the Red Raiders their first winning record in conference in 13 years. That puts Tech at fourth in the conference standings after Oklahoma State lost on Saturday. The team was originally picked to finish ninth in the Big 12 preseason poll. Tech's 7-5 overall finish is the best finish for a Red Raider team since 2013. And most notably, 2022 is the first year a Texas Tech team has beaten both Texas and Oklahoma in the same season ever. Individually, senior quarterback Tyler Shugg set a career best with 436 passing yards with a career-high 31 completions on 50 attempts. Backup quarterback Donovan Smith was the first Tech QB since 2015 to throw for, rush for, and catch a touchdown all in the same season. Overall, he's one of only 4 Red Raiders to do it in the last 22 years. And head coach Joey McGuire becomes the first new coach to end a season with a winning record in conference since 1986. Coming up later in sports, I'll have a wrap-up of all the Texas Tech action from over the break, along with details on the end of an era at Jones AT&T Stadium. Back to you, Elena.
Thanks, Joshua. In other news from the break, hundreds of Red Raiders took part in a special ceremony here on campus yesterday afternoon, symbolically linking them to the university for life. The Texas Tech Alumni Association held the annual ring ceremony in the United Supermarkets Arena on Sunday afternoon. The ceremony featured students from the university's 10 colleges, university programs, and the graduate school. During the event, members of the TTU Alumni Association, along with university administrators, spoke to the students about the symbolic importance of the ring and how it connects them to the university. Each student was presented with their ring by President Lawrence Skovanec, and then listened to remarks from Dr. Todd Chambers, the Assistant Vice Provost for Academic and Career Advising. The event concluded as students put on their rings for the first time and joined in a singing of the Matador song. Sunday's ceremony continues the tradition that started back in 1999, but the fall 2022 ceremony was only the second time that all recipients have gathered together simultaneously to participate in the event at the USA.
Speaking of university history, Texas Tech is gearing up to celebrate one of its biggest milestones during a special year-long celebration. With that in mind, some new additions to the campus landscape are helping to spread the word about the upcoming festivities. Last Monday, Texas Tech erected several new statues across campus to mark the upcoming Centennial Year celebration. The university will officially turn 100 years old in 2023, and the new artwork is a visual reminder of the huge milestone for everyone who visits the Lubbock campus. Several 100 statues are located in various locations, with the most substantial installation found on the northeast corner of Memorial Circle. The Memorial Circle statue features a walkthrough installation, and passers-by can stop to view several historical pictures from throughout the university's history. Other artwork can be found in Urbanowski Park and near the Fraser Alumni Pavilion with the number 100 stacked vertically. Each of the statues were installed last week ahead of the upcoming Centennial Celebration opening ceremony, which is being held in conjunction with the Carol of Lights. According to the university's event website, the 64th annual holiday celebration will be reimagined with live entertainment, new staging, lighting, and sound, as well as a firework display to conclude the night. This year's ceremony will also feature special guests, Wade Bowen and the Maines brothers, who will take part in one of the university's oldest traditions. The 64th Annual Carol of Lights and Centennial Celebration opening ceremony is scheduled for this Friday at 7 p.m. in Memorial Circle and the Science Quad. The Lubbock area experienced a wet Thanksgiving, but that was a big change from forecast earlier in the week. At one point, as much as 2 to 3 inches of snow was expected to fall here in the hub city.
The holiday rain took the place of the snowfall, bringing some much-needed moisture to the city. But the rainfall was replaced by sunny skies yesterday and the return of windy conditions today. So what can we expect as we continue into the last full week of classes? Let's take a look at the MCTV Tower Cam. Mostly cloudy skies and the effects of breezy winds are currently visible on the MCTV Tower Cam. Last week's rain has luckily kept dust from being kicked up into the air, but wind speeds have created a wind chill, causing it to feel a bit cooler than the current 60-degree highs. The winds will continue to be breezy through the evening into the overnight hours, but temperatures should remain mild through sunset. Breezy winds will continue to be a factor throughout the evening, but lows will once again stay above freezing. Overnight temperatures are only expected to drop into the mid-40s, and that should lead to a cool but not cold start tomorrow morning. The winds will continue to stick around into tomorrow, and speeds could be even higher than today. Gusts are currently forecast up to 40 miles per hour, with speeds staying above 20 miles per hour until late in the day. Highs are actually expected to reach near 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon, but the wind chill factor will make it feel slightly cooler throughout the day. Luckily, by Wednesday, the wind speeds will be much lighter, but unfortunately, a cold front will move into the area late Tuesday evening, dropping temperatures by close to 20 degrees. Highs are only expected to reach the mid-40s on Wednesday, and the cloud cover will increase later in the day. Thursday will be a little warmer, with temperatures climbing back into the 50s. We'll also see a return of clear skies, and that should make for a nice, mild afternoon. Looking ahead, a warm-up is in the forecast to end the week, but another cold front could drop temperatures and possibly bring a return of rain chances by the weekend.
As we mentioned earlier, Texas Tech is less than a week away from the official kickoff to the year-long Centennial Celebration. The university has coordinated with several campus groups and departments to hold several events and also showcase the university's history in a variety of ways, and all of that starts off with a special on-campus exhibition. Starting on Thursday, the Museum of Texas Tech will open a special Centennial exhibit at one of the facility's rotating galleries. The Centennial installation will feature a variety of artifacts, displays, timelines, and other exhibits that detail the founding of the university in February of 1923 to present day. The Centennial exhibit will be on display throughout the celebration until December 23rd of 2023. Guests will be able to view the display during the museum's regular hours, which are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, and Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m. Admission to the Texas Tech Museum is always free. And also coming up this weekend, the Museum of Texas Tech will host their Holiday at the Museum event from 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday. The annual celebration explores holiday traditions from around the world with hands-on activities, raffles, food, and fun for all ages. The event, just like the rest of the museum, will be free and open to the public.
As we mentioned earlier, the Texas Tech football team ended their conference schedule in style, but they weren't the only Red Raiders wrapping up another season.
MCTV's Joshua Ermis joins us again in studio with a full look around Texas Tech athletics and sports. Joshua?
Thanks, Rhody and Elena. Texas Tech athletics had a very busy Thanksgiving break as Tech football closed out the first regular season of the Joey McGuire era. Men and women's basketball hit the road for a pair of early season tournaments, and Tech volleyball finished their season at the USA, which is where we'll start. Texas Tech volleyball celebrated senior night on Friday by sweeping the Kansas Jayhawks. KJ Adams dominated the match with a season-high 5 aces, not only a season high for Adams, but for the Red Raiders as well. Texas Tech dominated the first two sets with scores of 25-15 and 25-16. Kansas tried to fend off the sweep in the third set, but Tech was able to finish the job 25-23. In the win, fifth-year Brooke Candace was able to move into the top 10 all-time blocks list for the Red Raiders with 330 blocks. The Red Raiders were able to end their season on a high note as they finished 16-13 overall and 5-11 in the Big 12, where they finished 7th out of 9. The 21st-ranked Texas Tech men's basketball team finished their short trip to Maui last Wednesday as they fell to the Ohio State Buckeyes in the Maui Gym Maui Invitational Tournament. Texas Tech started their Maui Invitational run with a hard-fought battle with number 10 Creighton. The Red Raiders played the Blue Jays tough, but just couldn't keep up as they lost the first game 76-65. They were able to bounce back on Tuesday as they dominated a troubled Louisville 70-38, keeping their Maui stint intact. Unfortunately, it wasn't for much longer as they dropped another close one to Ohio State 80-73. This gave Tech their second loss, sending them back home to Lubbock. Texas Tech now stands at 4-2 overall. They'll be back in Lubbock this Wednesday as they host Georgetown at the USA for the Big East Big 12 battle. Texas Tech women's basketball competed in an invitational of their own last week, this one taking place in Las Vegas with 2 games in 2 days. During their time in the Sin City, the Lady Raiders continued their impressive start to the season by going 2-0 in the Las Vegas Invitational. It started on Friday as the Lady Raiders took on the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee. Texas Tech was hot shooting from beyond the three-point line, making 12 of 19 in the 72-67 win. Guard Riley McKinney's 19 points led the team. On Saturday, the Lady Raiders closed out their trip to Vegas with another win over the Mercer Bears. This time it was Bailey Maupin and Jasmine Shavers who combined for 48 of Tech's 78 points in the 78-66 win. The Lady Raiders now stand at 5-1 so far this season with a long home stretch coming up, starting with Alabama State this Thursday. Finally, Red Raider football wrapped up the regular season on Saturday in the Jones as Texas Tech took on the Oklahoma Sooners for senior night. Tyler Shuck showed out in a shootout that saw 5 total lead changes. Shug threw for 436 yards and 2 scores, while SaRodrick Thompson added another 2 touchdowns on the ground. The game went to a 48-48 overtime as kickers Zach Smith and Trey Wolf traded 40-plus yarders in the closing minutes of regulation, where Wolf would strike again from 35 out after a Tech defensive stand. The Red Raiders closed out Joey McGuire's first regular season with a thrilling 51-48 OT win. It was also the last game for the iconic Double T scoreboard. The Double T stood tall over Jones AT&T Stadium for over 40 years. It will be replaced by a new, potentially bigger Double T when the new South End Zone project is finished. The Red Raiders finished 4th in the Big 12 with a conference record of 5-4 and an overall record of 7-5. They await bowl selection to see who and where they will play in December. Many current projections have them playing in the Cheez-It Bowl against Florida State or North Carolina. Well, that's all for a thrilling Thanksgiving break for Texas Tech athletics. Back to you, Rhody and Elena.
Thanks, Joshua. So, Elena, did you enjoy your Thanksgiving break?
Yes, I tried pecan pie for the first time. What about you?
I actually really liked pecan pie, and I had a really good Thanksgiving break,
Delicious
too.
Thanksgiving, huh?
That's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you on Thursday.